Okay, all right. So let's get started. We value your time a lot, and thank you for making the time to be part of this live session. So today, our main criteria or what we will be discussing on is about after your study in Canada, how to navigate that and how to go about it. A lot of questions, a lot of international students, they have: should I work? When should I stop working? When should I start working? Can I just do full time jobs? So on. So, this session will basically address all your difficulties and drop any that you have in the chat box. So, we will be able to we'll go ahead and do that. Just a minute. Just let me know if the PowerPoint slide that I'm sharing is visible. If so, just leave a comment in the chat if it is visible. So can you see the first page? Okay, all right. So I did get a response saying that it's all good. So let's get started. So, hello all, and welcome to this session. And hope you all are having a great day. And we'll be looking at how to go about post study completion and what to keep a note in terms of your status. And if you have any questions, leave your questions in the chat box, and we will go through them in the end. So, the discussion topic is basically what to watch out for after your studies is completed. And in regards to postgraduate work permit, also we will discuss, and we will also share with you some final thoughts as well. So, international students, you have usually come into Canada either with a 1 year course or 1+1 course, which is a first course taken. 1+1 is basically which is a first course you have taken, and after which you are enrolled for a second course and you receive two completion letters. Or you came into Canada for a 2 year course where you receive the completion letter. And it is also important to ensure that your permit status is valid at all times, as your permits are your status in the country. So you have visa and a permit when you enter into this country. Your permit, the sheet of paper that you get, that is what is your status in the country that helps you to stay in Canada. Be it your study permit, it will be mentioned in that. Your work permit will be mentioned in that. And then students taking a second course after the completion of their first course, you need to ensure that your second course is starting within 150 days of receiving a written confirmation of program completion. So, say if you did complete your first course in December, you have 150 days time from December to begin your second course. If it is longer than 150 days, you will have to change your status to some other, move your status from study permit to some other status, say like a Vista record, so you can maintain your status. And if your course is starting, if your second course is starting between 150 days, you're eligible to work during that time as per your study permit conditions. And after changing your status, you may also say, if your second course is starting beyond 150 days, after you change your status to visitor, you can resume your studies using the previous study permit, as long as the study permit is valid. And then in regards to work during study and when to stop, a student is allowed to work 24 hours per week based on their study permit conditions. But the day you receive the study completion letter, the transcript, or an email from your institution telling you that you have completed your program, you got to stop working, even if your study permit is still valid. That's a very commonly asked question, like, when do I stop working? So you are eligible to work part time 24 hours per week as long as you are a full time student. So, part time and study completed students are not allowed to work on their study permit. It's very important to note that, because if you do work beyond your the 24 hours per week, if you work beyond you have received your completion and you still keep working because your study permit is valid, you are not obeying the conditions of your study permit. That's what basically it is. So please do take that into account. And you can stay on your study permit in Canada even after study completion, but cannot work. And you can only after postgraduate work permit is applied. It's very important to note, you should never ever let your status expire at any time, because basically you are allowed to stay in Canada because you have that permit, and that is your status to stay in Canada. And in regards to postgraduate work permit, so a student is eligible for postgraduate work permit after studies. So, international students, you have studied your 2 year straight course, or your 1+1 course, or your 1 year course by itself, you all are eligible for postgraduate work permit with certain conditions. And if you graduated from a postgraduate eligible program, for 1 year programs, you get a 1 year postgraduate work permit, and a 2 year programs, you get a 3 year postgraduate work permit. And there are certain conditions that makes you eligible for PGWP. Basically, you need to have maintained full-time status as a student in Canada during each semester and of your study program. And the last semester, you can be part time. But during your other semesters, it's very important that you have maintained a full time student, as there are scheduled breaks, unscheduled breaks. Well, scheduled breaks are okay, but if you have taken unscheduled breaks, you will have to explain it, why you took the unscheduled break, or was the college in consent of it. Everything needs to be disclosed to IRCC when you do apply for PGWP. It's very important to note that. And also, your study permit needs to be valid when applying for PGWP. And say if you stay in Canada and let your permit expire, there are situations where people study permit expire. You got restore your status as a student and apply for PGWP at the same time. So there are you are not able to work during that time. But say if your study permit is valid and you apply for your PGWP, you can continue working as long as you were on maintained status and you applied for PGWP before your study permit expired. And PGWP, it has to be applied in 180 days after you graduate. It's not like you can be applied anytime. No, there is a time limit for that. So adhere by that number of days as well. And your study permit should be valid at some point during that 180 days after you graduated and before you submitted the postgraduate work permit applications. And looking at the documents, there is the additional document is the language test, which they have introduced since November 1st of 2024. So that has to be done. If you did a bachelor's course, you need a CLB 7 in English or French language. If you graduated from any other university program, if it is a bachelor's, master's, or doctoral, you just need to get your CLB 7. But if you graduated from any other university program, you need a CLB 7. And also, there is, if you submitted your study permit application after November 1st, 2024, you must graduate from the list of eligible field of study. They did bring this about in November 1st, 2024. Basically, the field of study, there are 6 broad fields of studies like agriculture and agri-food, education, healthcare, science, STEM programs, trade, transport, and they have a whole bunch of codes and courses that do come under each of these categories. So you got to make sure that the course that you have taken falls under this eligible field of study if your study permit application was submitted after November 1st, 2024. This is for people who graduated from any other university program other than bachelor's, master's, or doctoral program. And if you graduated from any college, polytechnic, or non university programs, you just need a minimum of CLB 5. Also, the study permit application, if your study permit application was submitted after November 1st, 2024, you must have graduated from the eligible field of study, as I discussed earlier. And there is no language or field of study requirements for graduates from a PGWP eligible like flight school. You don't require any language or field of study programs. And if you completed your study program in Canada, you may also then leave the outside the country and then apply for PGWP from outside Canada too. That option is also available. And for PGWP applicants, you must submit either your degree or diploma with your transcript or a completion letter from the school, your language score report, your full-time enrollment proof, your medical exams if you are applicably working in any kind of healthcare education fields, you got to submit your medical exam with it. And also, PGWP can only be applied once in a lifetime. So do make sure that you do apply for it properly. And the work permit is granted only up to your passport validity. So make sure you make informed choices. So some people might be thinking, okay, I'm just going to do one year course, and then okay, I'm not going to do the second course, and then they do go ahead and apply for the postgraduate work permit. After on the postgraduate work permit, they decide they want to do a second course. Well, the second course will not get a postgraduate work permit since you have already applied for it once. So make sure that you do apply for that PGWP only when you are ready to apply for it. Okay, so that's basically an overview of PGWP and some final thoughts to share with you. Ensure your status is maintained. It's very important to note that because a lot of people realize that their study permit has expired, especially for who have come to Canada on a bachelor's program, 4-year bachelor's program. They came to Canada 4 years back, and then they do forget that okay, their study permit is going to expire. So make sure you are well aware of your statuses in Canada. It is maintained while you are in Canada. As falling out of status, it puts you at high risk. And in some cases, there is no other way out other than leave the country. So you have invested a lot of money and time to come to Canada. So keep track of all your expiry dates, study permits, work permits, passport validity, because that is your main identity document as you are a temporary foreign worker in Canada. And most of the people who are coming to study in Canada, their main goal is to become a permanent resident. And the situation in Canada is right now very extremely competitive. And you might be hearing all around like moving provinces, change to LMIA, apply for refugees. There are so many options people are suggesting you. But got to make sure all these solutions are not suitable for everyone. So do make informed choices, and we are always here to help you out with whatever be your immigration inquiries. We do offer um, initial 15 minutes free consultation. We will look at your case and we will tell you, okay, what needs to be done next. General queries will be addressed in the uh, free consultation, and then we will let you know of what should be done next. So basically, that's what this live session is about. Let's look at if you have any questions to say. Okay, so here's a question. Hi, I am a PSW student. My course is going to finish on April 27th. What are the criteria that I should follow in order to bring my husband and son here? I don't apply visa for them yet. Well, it's not related to this live session. Well, spousal open work permit and to bring your child, we will be addressing all the criterias and what are the things that you need to be well aware of to apply for your spousal open work permit for your husband and for your child. There's a lot of criterias. We will be taking that up in the next live session, hopefully. And another question that we have is, my study permit expired a few months ago and I applied to extend it. Can I work after I submit my postgraduate work permit while I'm under maintained status? Well, basically, the question is, this individual applied, expired. Their study permit was expired, so that individual did apply for an extension. And however, it's time to apply for PGWP. Their study permit extensions decision hasn't come yet. So they are asking, basically, can I work while I submit my PGWP application? Well, unfortunately, you are not authorized to work after you submit your PGWP application while you are on maintained status. You are able to work after your PGWP application is approved, because the individual study permit is not valid. So they have submitted for an extension, but they are waiting for a PGWP decision along with the study permit decision. So they will have to wait until that PGWP's decision is made in order for them to go ahead and start working. So I hope this live session has been helpful to you guys, and reach out to us, share your comments. We're available for you on Instagram, YouTube, wherever it is. And thank you all for tuning in.